the beginning of the course, me and my group carried out a prelim task, which at the time we thought was done to a high standard, but looking back in hindsight, comparing this to our finished product, we can see clear improvements in the sophistication of our camera work. To film the preliminary task, we used a Sony handheld camera, which was small, compact and very simple to use, but restricted the quality of the footage as it was left slightly pixelated and shaky, as we did not use a tripod. When it came to recording the actual raw footage, we used a Samsung SLR NX30, as this allowed us to shoot more high definition shots and made the camera tricks such as a focus pull a lot easier. We also used a tripod while shooting for our opening sequence, although for some shots we made the decision not to use a tripod, as this was to encode, using Stuart Hall's reception theory, fear, as it's a common bodily response to shake when you're scared. This was to evoke the same feelings from our demographic. In our preliminary task, we failed to use a range of camera shots, as the majority of them were mid-shots, so due to this, we were more aware of using a range of shots to ensure that the audience didn't get bored from the repetition. We also did not have any artificial lighting in our prelim task, so we relied heavily on the consistency of natural lighting, which was obviously a method which resulted in us having mismatched lighting, and certain shots were darker than others, which therefore looked highly unprofessional. We therefore learnt from this and used a three-point lighting system which allowed consistent, high-quality lighting, although we did want low-key lighting shots to connote the eerie atmosphere, but it was easily altered at the editing stage without losing shot quality. Before joining the A-Level Media course, I had no previous experience using Apple Mac computers, as my secondary school used basic Microsoft PCs to edit. This meant I was at a greater disadvantage than some of my peers who had the opportunity to use Macs at GCSE level. This meant I had to develop my skills and learn how to do all sorts of things, ranging from basics like taking screenshots to more advanced knowledge like editing my final production piece altogether. When editing the prelim task together, me and my group used iMovie, as this was the easiest editing software for us to use. But it lacked a lot of editing features that Final Cut Pro, the advanced software we used in the final production, had. And also in iMovie you can only add 18 extracts of raw footage into the timeline, whereas in Final Cut Pro you can add an unlimited amount of footage into the timeline. This was highly important to us due to the fact we had over 60 shots to carefully select and fit into our production, as we used a lot of jump shots to conform to the thriller genre. Final Cut Pro also allows a lot more precise soundtrack, which made it easier for us to merge two pieces of non-diegetic sounds to create one more dramatic and synchronous piece for our production, whereas iMovie is more commonly used to edit raw footage and still images in a montage style. Although Final Cut Pro allowed us to edit the footage together in a professional manner, it took a lot longer to get used to the different settings. On both pieces of software, it is sometimes possible for the file to corrupt if not saved properly, so when using both I had to double check it was saved correctly to ensure no time would be wasted doing work again and maximising my chances of getting as many marks as possible.